If we were to tell you that you could have one hit as a music artist and forever be in infamy, would you take it? You absolutely would. It's One Hit Wonder Wednesdays, giving you your 15 minutes of fame and extending it for a lifetime.
You are listening to One Hit Wonder Wednesday on 104.1 KQTH. I'm James T. Harris. This is my show. I have the sexy sidekick Ross in studio. We've got Charles in charge taking your calls at 751-1041. And if you, my friends, are calling... Democrats are encouraged about a 2018, their chances in 2018, even though they got spanked in a Kansas loss last night. See, remember that, my friends? Remember when Republicans had to walk away, well, we got close. But it's still a moral victory. No, there was not, no. I don't ever want to be in that situation again. Neither do President Trump. And that is why he focuses attention on this race. Of course, here's the story. Democrat activists are claiming a moral victory. Oh, moral victory. In Kansas, despite narrowly losing a congressional election there Tuesday night. Democrat James Thompson came within 10 points of Republican Kansas State Treasurer Ron Estes in the state's safely GOP 4th congressional district. See, they thought that there would be a lot of an uprising because we saw all these, we saw it on TV. We saw how all the women were upset. All the nasty women that, just descended upon Washington, D.C. We saw all this marching, the young people, the millennials, all the shock and horror from the election that went the wrong way. They knew that they could pick this seat up. President Trump carried the district by 27 points in November. Mike Pompeo, that's who resigned earlier this year to serve as director of the CIA. He won the district by 31 points. No Democrat has won this seat since 1992, the year Bill Clinton defeated George H.W. Bush. Estes, however, is set to prevail by less than 7 points. A warning sign for the House Republican majority less than 100 days into the Trump administration. Oh, yes. Dan Pfeiffer, a former senior advisor to President Obama, tweeted that this was the year for any Democrat who wanted to run for office to do so. Grassroots liberals sent messages all Tuesday night with hashtag like resist and flip the fourth as Thompson jumped out to an initial lead during the early voting. They urged Democrats to take this as a sign that they should contest every state and congressional election in 2018. They said the Democrats are still angry over the 2016 election results, and they're energized by what they see as the Republicans' missteps this year. What missteps? Obamacare? Tax reform? Missteps? Republican missteps? We're what? How many days? 86, 87 days? Missteps? What about the Republican victories? Who wrote this? The Washington Examiner. I like the publication. Missteps. Oh, he's quoting Democrats saying that. I got it. The only other negative for Democrats, aside from Estes actually winning the House seat, is the continued finger-pointing between progressives and the party establishment wing. This has been a feature of nearly every intra-party fight since Hillary Clinton beat Bernie Sanders for the 2016 Democrat presidential nomination. This is true. See, listen, man. Did they pick up more than was expected? No, actually, because Republicans were expecting this. There was a surge on the left. There is angst on the left. And a lot of liberal activists and the whole resisting, yeah, they're coming out. But at the end of the day, what was the result? Democrats, what did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Charlie, there's a new joke going around. Have you heard it? What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Stop! What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Face. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What?
That's a Democrat loss, my friends. And I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to continue to be slapped around. Or am I reading this wrong? James, don't gloat. Open the phone lines, please. James, don't gloat. 520-751-1041 is the telephone number. As far as I'm concerned, President Trump is still winning. Now, the National Republican Congressional Committee, they spent $100,000 on this race. And House Speaker Paul Ryan also sent out a fundraiser email. And I think Senator Ted Cruz also was campaigning. Oh, it had to be all on board. But this is a good thing. This is a good thing. In that, you know what, finally, we're talking about, the populace being engaged. And it's a good thing that you had Trump and the, establishment and, the team, they were working together. Because even though we're having our intra-party spats, once we get used to power, having it, once we relearn how to govern, there's going to be a roll. So this was fantastic. They saw that Essex was in trouble. They saw that, it's a possibility, but they didn't skip it. They didn't skip going to Washington or to Wisconsin. They didn't skip going to Pennsylvania like Hillary Clinton did during the elections. What I loved about this story, pulling out Kansas, is that the Trump machine is still very aware and very well oiled. And that is, my friends, something to celebrate. When we come back, what is going on in North Korea? China, my friends, China. After having a little conversation with the Trump administration, looks like China is backing President Trump's play with trying to rein in the fat little crazy kid, the fat crazy kid. That's up next. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH, Tucson's News and Talk.
Con Can on One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
There once was a time and there once was a way. We had something going into my dismay.
Buster Brown on One Hit Wonder Wednesday. You can tell whenever I play the 60s because Charles like pokes up and goes, "Arr?"
We got some big news. We got an interview set up at 4:05, my friends. You want to be in? Make sure you tune into that. This is news broke about the GOP grassroots and insiders, and we're talking about. You tune in. This is really interesting. We got John Backer, who's going to be in the circus to explain what is happening. We got a lot of people in the GOP in Arizona who are angry. We'll see if we can get down to the bottom of it. And, of course, the Arizona Daily Independent, they've been talking about this for 6 or 7 months, but it just now bubbled to the surface, and people are reacting. That's at 4:05. This is amazing. I have to tell you, a week ago, I was upset when President Trump lobbed Tomahawk missiles into Syria and said it was because they crossed that, the line, the use of poison gas. All of the speculation came out. It wasn't Assad. It was one of somebody else in there, and we don't have any friends over there. Why are we getting involved in the Syrian civil war? That was a lot of people's fear, me included. And then I came around and I said, if it's a one-off, that's fine, because we kind of reset the table. President Trump reset the table with that. Now Russia's on the defensive. Now Iran is on the defensive. The feckless President Obama is exposed, caught in another lie, saying that they have removed all of Syria's poison gas. They through tough negotiations. It's all a lie. And now, let me not go down that track, but we are going to have to take another look at the Iranian nuke deal, because if everything else here was so crappy, that has to be crappy too. I wonder what else he gave away. But the thing is, I don't think we really knew. We heard that he was having dinner with the president of China when it was going on. Today, President Trump actually talked about that, why he decided to tell him at the time what was going on. Here's what we know. Today, we're finding out that China threatened to bomb North Korea's nuclear facilities if it crosses Beijing's bottom line or Beijing's red line. Everybody's putting down lines. Be it in Syria, North Korea, but now China. They had a harshly worded editorial titled, "The United States must not choose a wrong direction to break the DPRK nuclear deadlock" on Wednesday. Beijing warned that basically the United States won't have to do it. They'll do it. They warned it would attack North Korea's facilities producing nuclear bombs, effectively engaging in an act of war if North Korea crosses China's bottom line. That editorial in the military-focused Global Times tabloid, owned and operated by the Communist Party's People's Daily newspaper, said that North Korea's nuke activities must not jeopardize northeastern China, and that if the North impacts China with its illicit nuclear tests through either nuclear leakage or pollution, China would respond with force. Quote, China has a bottom line that it will protect at all costs. That is, the security and stability of Northeast China. If the bottom line is touched, China will employ all means available, including the military means, to strike back. By that time, it is not an issue of discussion whether China acquiesces in the U.S. blows, but the Chinese People's Liberation Army will launch attacks to DPRK nuke facilities on its own. Whoa! Wait a minute. I thought, wait a minute. Well, but are you telling me this is the art of the deal? Are you telling me that Trump somehow, you accuse Trump of colluding with the Russians? Now the Russians are mad. The Russians are trying to, flex their muscles because Trump punked them. And the Chinese who are supposed to be mad at us, we're actually not kind of like colluding to bring the fat little the fat crazy kid, to bring him in line. What are we watching here, people? What are we watching here? Let me go to Michael on the phone here. Michael wants to weigh in. Michael, welcome to 104.1 KQTH.
China's going to take care of North Korea's nuclear problem, and Russia's going to take care of Assad's chemical weapons problem. I trust them both.
Well, why do you trust them both to do that?
Well, you see what trust gets you.
Here's the deal. This is what trust gets you under an Obama administration.
Oh, that might be true.
Because Obama was a useful idiot for Russia. And Obama, he was pushed around by our enemies. That same type of thing isn't happening here. I have never heard China publicly speak to North Korea in this way. Have you?
No, but again, Assad was Putin's best buddy.
Yes.
And he was supposed to give up his chemical weapons to Putin. They'll say anything to buy some time.
Yeah, but
it's too valuable for North Korea to be out there doing the nukes, because that takes all the pressure off of where did the technology come from for everybody else making them.
I'll tell you what, though, Michael. Here's what's very interesting to me. Before Donald Trump, you wouldn't be saying that. Before Donald Trump, before last week. With the tomahawks being tossed over into Syria, that was a complete game changer. I have never heard North Korea or China address North Korea like this. Basically, a little fat kid, if you keep this mess up, United States won't have to do anything to you because we'll do it first. Whoa!
I was in the Army. I was in the 82nd. We were on alert when Reagan went after Gaddafi and shut his mouth.
Right.
And that sent the message around the rest of the area. But
that's when Gaddafi had the line of death. He drew the line of death in the Mediterranean Sea, and we just blew right past that and blew up his tent. And then we didn't hear from him until Obama.
Yeah.
Michael, thank you very much for the call. Yeah. Strength through peace. Peace through strength. What? Peace through strength. It's amazing. I saw this headline. I thought, is this fake news? Is this The Onion? No. This was Zero Hedge, a site that I really like. It's been on point. Basically, what we're seeing here is the United States once again exerting power, flexing, and getting people who were supposed to be our enemies, backing them down and working together to go against a real threat. What's the biggest threat right now? Al-Qaeda and North Korea. And President Trump is on it. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
Merrill Bainbridge on One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
Go. Kiss me on my salty lips. I bet you feel a little crazy, but for me, we'll be famous on TV.
Yeah, what decade is this from?
90s.
Okay. Never heard of this before. I must have been teaching at the time.
It was 95.
Yeah, I was a teacher.
Then there you go.
All right. And this was popular in the United States. Like, this is not like a one-hit wonder from like Uruguay.
It was a one-hit wonder from this country in 1995.
A Russian foreign minister, Lavrov. What is this? This is a Sergei Lavrov. Sergei. Did I say Sergei? Sergei Lavrov scolded Andrea Mitchell today. This is kind of funny. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was affronted Wednesday when NBC reporter Andrea Mitchell called out a question while he was speaking in Moscow, and he asked her, who taught you manners? ABC News Moscow correspondent Patrick Revel tweeted out video of the exchange, which occurred when Lavrov and Secretary of State Rex Tillerson entered the room for a photo op. Mitchell, who focuses on foreign affairs on her reporting, tried to address Tillerson. She yelled out a question. I have the audio of it, but it's too like echoey, isn't it? Who gave you your manners? Oh man, I mean that's like international like slap. They're walking in, and she yelling out a question. She's the only when they're all sitting down, they have protocol. They're sitting, hey, question, whoa, who gave you your manners? Andrea.
What did the five fingers say to the face? What? Stop! What did the five fingers say to the face? What did the five fingers say to the face? What did the five fingers say to the face? What did the five fingers say to the face? What?
Yes, Andrea Mitchell got like a international slap. Hit upside the head. Who gave you your manners? I don't care who you married to. Andrea Mitchell. She's I got that posted on the Facebook page. I wanted to play Jeff Sessions here, but Jeff Sessions was in the Gallus yesterday. He had some fantastic things to say. Like I'm saying, my friends, there's so much in the news right now. There's so much in the news. Sessions signaled an immigration crackdown. He said, this is the Trump era. Attorney General wants the Justice Department to make immigration enforcement a priority. He was down in Nogales, that's about 70 miles from here. He vowed a dramatic Justice Department crackdown on illegal immigration that would include felony charges for people who illegally enter the United States multiple times or get married in order to gain legal status. Oh, is that the government getting in the bedroom? For those that continue to seek improper and illegal entry into this country, be forewarned. This is the new era. This is the Trump era. Wouldn't that be great if they had Dennis Rodman saying that? It's a new era. It's the Trump era. He continued, the lawlessness, the abdication of duty to enforce our immigration laws, and the catch and release practices of old are over.
It's a new era.
That's right. It's a new era. It's the Trump era. He issued a memo Tuesday calling for federal attorneys to consider prosecution of anyone who harbors undocumented immigrants, with a priority given to violent cases or those that involve transporting or shielding 3 or more undocumented immigrants. Sessions also instructed the Justice Department to pursue felony charges when applicable for immigrants who tried to enter the U.S. illegally on multiple occasions. In a policy move that the Politico says could have broad implications, the Attorney General asked prosecutors to consider charges for identity fraud and document theft to extend practicable. Practicable. These department attorneys also should consider felony prosecutions in cases of fraudulent marriages to obtain legal immigration status. He said he's going to clean up the scum, the mess. Now, he wasn't talking about individuals. He was talking about, the drug trade. He was talking about human trafficking. This was huge yesterday, my friends. Oh, no, he said, where did we get this from? Against the filth. The privacy and violence are their calling cards, including brutal machete attacks and beheadings. It is here on this sliver of land we must take our stand against this filth. These are people who turn cities and suburbs into war zones, rape and kill innocent citizens, and profit from trafficking people across the border. This was a no-holds-barred speech yesterday. Another one of those, this huge, this is like down payment on the wall. I remember back in the day under the Obama administration, we were saying, look, let's build the wall first and then we'll start to reform, the immigration program. Well, hell, they're doing it both. It's a twofer. It's a huge twofer. Again, bold strokes, bold moves. And when the president acts boldly like this, the American people respond. What was this? I don't even follow approval ratings anymore, but I remember the left crowing over how low they were. Oh, they're low. And then after what? After last week, boom, 47% again. Back up. But this is something that we here in Arizona, this is music. He's empowered ICE. He's empowered the Border Patrol to do their job. And the mere rhetoric of this has caused a reaction. The illegals crossing the border, the number of illegals have dropped since President Trump has been in office. Who said that? Yeah. And he says illegals. He's not saying undocumented. He's not saying dreamers. That was old school. See, it's a new era now. We're calling them what they are: illegal aliens.
It's a new era.
I'm telling you. It's just an amazing time to be alive, to watch this stuff. Oh, I love this one. Sessions took questions from members of the media after the speech, offering his thoughts about immigration enforcement in cases where undocumented immigrant parents, and this is the media saying this, have a U.S. citizen children. Says a Mexican woman with 4 citizen children asked an appeals court on Monday to halt her deportation. We want everybody to comply with the law, he said. This is Sessions said. And because a child, listen to this, and because a child or a family member enters the United States lawfully, doesn't mean that others can enter the country unlawfully. Oh! But what about you can't separate the children from the parents? Yeah, you can. I'm not separating children from parents. I'm separating illegals from legal. See, the legal one can stay. The illegals got to go, but their children. Well, take your children with you. James, that's cold. No, it's not. What's cold-blooded? Cold-blooded is you sneaking across the line with your kids. What's cold-blooded is you coming over here and having some anchor babies. It's cold-blooded to the American people. They got to support all this mess.
Then they'll just counter with that ad with the kids being like, "Why'd you call us anchor babies?" and all that cussing.
Yeah,
that's what they counter with.
Take your little messed up kids. you let messed up kids and go back and go home. That's my response to that. Cold-blooded. I wonder if people are picking up on all of the Charlie Murphy stuff we're using in here today.
Well, I mean, really all you need to do is watch the Rick James True Hollywood Stories from the Chappelle Show.
And you know what?
And that'll explain everything.
Yolanda Weinberger, who does not watch TV, was watching. I showed her that one night. She goes, "Oh my God, that's half your show." I said, "More than half."
Did you also show her the one with Prince, True Hollywood
Yes,
Story?
I did.
That's maybe another quarter right there.
Tell you what. You know what we never played though? We never played Buck Nasty. We never played Buck Nasty. We wanted to. When you see Ross and I walking around the studio, if you're watching this on Facebook and we're walking around, usually we're quoting Buck Nasty.
What hasn't been said about that suit that hasn't been said about Afghanistan? It looks bombed out and depleted.
We got a special interview at 4:05. But I think the Sessions, I'm loving it. I still hate the fact that he recused himself, but as someone brought up, what's the big deal? There's nothing to investigate with the Trumps colluding with the Russians. Don't waste our time with that. And this proves out once again he's not. He's down here on the border, laying it out, laying down the new law. It's a new era. It's the Trump era. We're not gonna bend over. We're not all nice. Dreams. What used to be your dream is now a nightmare. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
Amber on One Hit Wonder Wednesday. Amy Holland on One Hit Wonder Wednesday.
The lovely Aaron Christensen. Just the lovely Aaron Christensen is in studio. Aaron Christensen.
Was it
welcome
something
to
I
the-
said?
No, it was nothing that you said.
Oh.
It was what Charles
It's all your
said.
fault.
It's what Charles said. It's just got me. God, you look fantastic today.
I do. Well, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely, like a big fat ray of sunshine.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, you're hot like it is outside. It's like 90 something. It's just hot.
It is like 90 something. See, you don't need me. It's like 90 something.
It's like 90 something.
I might have to say that for tomorrow's forecast.
It's like the 90s. A little.
It's going to be
weather
like
term.
90 something.
Absolutely. Enjoy it. Yeah. And when are we going to get into the 100 somethings? Are we far away from that? We're not that far away, are we?
Well, I think our first average 100-degree day is the end of May. May 26th, maybe? Don't quote me on that, but I think it's the end of May is the average first triple-digit day. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go. I will tell you, tomorrow's 93 is the only day in the 90s that we have in our 7-day.
Oh, that's not good. Well, the rest
Meaning
of us
we're
in the
not
80s.
going to 100, meaning we're cooling back down to the upper 80s. But upper 80s, I mean, still pretty darn close to 90.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah, so 93 tomorrow, 89 Friday, a little breezy Saturday. Saturday at 88, 89 on Easter Sunday. You know, this is National Park weekend, at least for the state of Arizona. All the national parks in Arizona are waiving their entrance fees
Really?
this weekend. Yeah, so I actually am going to have the forecast for Saguaro National Park, Canyon de Chelly National Monument, the Grand Canyon National Park in my forecasts tonight, in case you're making plans.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess what they open
the
them up,
weekend.
is that every Easter weekend or something like they do that? Or is that an Easter
I know
thing?
there are several weekends throughout the course of the year that they do it. I can't recall if it's every Easter.
Wow. Well, I imagine places like the Grand Canyon and stuff like that are going to be like packed. Well,
I
yeah.
would think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would think so.
Because this is.
Well, this is actually the time of year to go
Yeah.
to the Grand Canyon and really hike it
right.
versus when it's 80 or 90 there.
We went when I hiked the Grand Canyon. I think it was in the autumn, and I mean it got into the triple digits when we were at the bottom of the thing, and then we had some mishaps, which probably was good, and then we ended up coming out when the sun was going down because I can't imagine walking out of that thing with the sun up. That would have been that. It was already it ruined me. So, but yeah, the good time to
That's
go
treacherous.
is in the spring and in late autumn before before the north rim closes up.
Right.
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 So, all right. So this is going to be a weekend to be out and about.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially, I haven't hiked in a little while. Maybe I'll just well,
What?
it's free. Maybe I'll go out there. Just I usually hike early in the morning though. Mm-hmm. I don't like the direct sunlight. Unless I'm almost out of the park. I try to get up and get down. I get real early. Usually I'm number 1 or number 2 up there to the top because it's like.
But doesn't it have a set time that are you talking about Saguaro National Park or are you talking about Sabino Canyon? I mean, aren't there certain times that it's open? You can't
It's
just
open
go hike
24/7.
it. Really?
Yeah. I mean, if they're not there to take your money, who's going to stop you? Even when they had the government shut down a couple of years ago, and you're not supposed to go into the park, what they could do is keep you from going into the parking lot, use your car, or they had the facilities locked up, but they can't stop you from walking off into nature.
Right. So you're definitely hiking at your own risk because there are no park rangers there
I'll tell you what.
outside of the normal hours that you're supposed to be hiking.
Anytime you're hiking at your own risk.
Right.
It's not like they can come out there and get you.
Yeah, they can.
Well,
I mean, we've seen a
Okay,
lot of rescues
if you,
happen.
If you break, let me rephrase that. If you go out there in the middle of the night or when it's closed and you get in trouble and you die out, somebody's coming to get you. It's sort of like you can't use the park facilities when it's closed. But I don't care about that. I mean, I go midnight hiking. I used to go midnight hiking there all the time.
James.
And that's what I'm going to end up doing this weekend. It'll be closed right after midnight because it's starting to get warm. I don't want to get caught up there in all that heat.
Because it's just not cool enough at 6 a.m. when
But
the park opens.
Oh, you know what? You go there in the middle of the night, and it's a completely different scene.
Oh, I'm sure it
is.
is.
Completely different beauty.
I'm sure
I
it is.
actually watched a moon set one night. It was like amazing. Big, fat orange moon slowly going down while everybody's asleep. I'm by myself. That's when the mountain
That's how you
lion
like
roared.
it. You like being by yourself, right? That's why you hike at that time.
I know there's something to that. My wife, can I go along? No. You're listening to 104.1 KQTH.
A lot of fun.